let's go, let's go, let's go. He got it! Wow! What a shot! How about that play? He hit it. Oh my God!
Everyone knows why he's called the third baseman, the first baseman, the second baseman, the catcher. But why do they call him the shortstop?
Really can't tell you. That's one for the trivia book.
You got me on that one. I have no idea why it's called shortstop.
It's just a little shortstop from second to third. They had to give it a name, so the guys who used to play it were short.
When I think of shortstop, I think of a great band leader like Louis Armstrong.
I do know that the shortstop, and I know you probably get a lot of people say, no way, they're probably one of the best athletes on the team.
Reaching Ordonez! Do you believe it?
Shortstop is one of the most competitive positions.
Hit toward the hole, Jeter backhands from the outfield grass. Got it!
Major League Baseball Productions presents Superstar Shortstops.
Want to know my definition of the word shortstop? To me, it's the most important position on the field. Hello, I'm Ozzie Smith, and welcome to Superstar Shortstops. As you may know, I played a little shortstop myself. I'm here at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown, New York. It's where every shortstop who plays the game hopes to someday end up. There are currently 19 shortstops in the Hall of Fame. And even though there have been some great hitting shortstops over the years, it's one of the few positions where you can get elected, primarily for your defense. That was the theory for a lot of teams over the years. As long as their shortstop could feel, hey, it didn't matter how much he hit. Of course, nowadays, teams are looking for shortstops who can do it all. In fact, there are 3 guys in the American League right now who might just someday end up here.
Alex Rodriguez of the Seattle Mariners. Derek Jeter of the New York Yankees. And Nomar Garciaparra of the Boston Red Sox. All 3 possess amazing skill in every phase of the game. All 3 stand 6 foot or taller. And amazingly, all 3 are only in their mid-20s. Welcome to the age of the shortstop, the golden age.
I'm going out there trying to win. You know, when we win, I'm walking home with a smile. Expectations to go, I just have one every year, try to win a World Series. If I was to start a franchise, Nomar Garciaparra would have to be my shortstop.
Hammered up the middle, great diving stop by Garciaparra, and they throw him out.
He's got a lot of range at shortstop. He's great at throwing arm.
Off the end of the bat, Garciaparra, look at him, backhand, he's got him, wow!
You don't even want to throw the ball near home plate because he can rake it in any direction.
He hits balls at right center, left center. He hits like he's a power hitter.
He is a power hitter. 30 home runs in his rookie year. A league-high 209 hits, 22 stolen bases, and the Rookie of the Year award.
There's a lot of rookies that come up that can play, but don't make the adjustment. Nomar jumped in head first, and he thrilled us all in '97. Then in '98, he topped it.
He's a guy when the game's on the line. I don't want to see him at the play because Terrence always going to get a big hit to beat us.
The winning run is out at third base. Well hit ball deep to left field. The ball game is over. Garciaparra wins it.
But while Nomar's play has earned him all-star recognition, his curious habits have earned him, well, curiosity.
I fidget a lot out there and stuff.
It's amazing. He does this every pitch now.
I played with Nomar in Japan this
pitcher. I'm nothing like Nomar. So I have a routine. But if I had to do everything he did, I might be tired. I might miss the game.
There's a lot of stuff I do just as far as part of a routine I do and just to keep myself into the game.
He's very active. Yeah, I saw that. Watch, the gloves, pulling them down, and then the feet. Bing, bong, bing.
I just always liked my toes at the end of my shoes. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just tapping my toes. And with my gloves, I'm doing the same thing. I have to have my hands at the end of my glove. So I'm pulling them down and getting them nice and tight, and I'm ready to go.
It must work. Nomar is just the 5th player ever to hit 30 or more home runs in each of his first 2 seasons.
If you looked at Nomar, you wouldn't expect him to hit 30, 35 home runs. He doesn't appear to be as big, but he's very strong.
So strong that one memorable day in 1999, Nomar became the first shortstop in the history of baseball to hit 2 grand slams in one game.
Here's the 1-1. Garcia Parra in the air to right field. Buhner goes back. Buhner goes way back. It's gone! A grand slam home run for Nomar Garcia Parra. Garcia Parra to right field again. Long run for Buhner. It's gone!
Garcia Parra showing that surprising power.
Nomar with 2 home runs on the night. Drives this one deep to left field. Well hit. Going! Gone! A grand slam home run.
So what's the secret behind the slugging shortstop's success?
I close my eyes harder than everybody else, and it happens to hit my back.
3 homers, 10 RBIs on the night.
Go out there, swing, and hopefully I hit it.
Long before Nomar, a player in his image showed that shortstops could indeed hit for power. Ernie Banks of the Chicago Cubs didn't look the part, but man, could he hit home runs.
I only weighed 159 pounds, real slim, and you wouldn't think that I could even hit a ball. I mean, most pitchers just said, boy, I looked at you at the plate, look, the wind going to blow you down.
But it was Ernie who cut through the wind of Wrigley Field. In one 6-year stretch, he averaged 41 home runs a year. His 47 home runs in 1958 is still a shortstop record.
I don't know that anybody hit the ball like Ernie did. You know, he had great wrist, and if you threw him anything low, you know, he could hit it out of the ballpark.
Chicago fans, Ernie Banks hitting a home run.
It slowly began to come into my mind that what you do is very unique. I mean, you're a shortstop with power. So as I began to be fortunate enough to hit home runs and more, and they began to come easy and easy, they seemed like it to me. It was like, gosh, I mean, why am I doing this? I mean, what's happened to me? It's like, this shouldn't happen.
But you don't become a 2-time most valuable player on hitting alone.
His hands, he had soft hands. He knew how to play to people. He got to the ball and seemed like every time he threw to first base, and it was often said, he just gets you.
Banks hit 277 home runs as a shortstop before moving to first base. He went on to become the 10th major league player to hit 500 home runs.
I saw it go out of the ballpark, and I said, wow, this can't be me. And around those bases was just so much fun. And after the game, naturally, my friends came down, Jack Brickhouse.
You're holding a press conference, buddy. Well, it's very good, Jack. It's a great thrill, and I don't know what I would say except thanks to all the Chicago fans.
Ernie's effervescent personality wasn't always part of his makeup, but somehow playing shortstop helped it develop.
I was really shy. It brought me out. It made me more open and more aggressive and more of an authority on things.
My kind of town, Chicago is. The Wrigleyville in Chicago is. My kind of town that won't let you down. It's my kind of town.
And Ernie was Chicago's kind of guy. Mr. Cub, the most popular Cub in history. He lived for doubleheaders, and his enthusiasm for the game followed him right into the Hall of Fame.
We got the set in. Sunshine, fresh air. We got the team behind us. So let's play two.
I think the fact that he hit 512 home runs, definitely he was ahead of his time where you got that kind of offense out of your shortstop.
This is Cal Ripken, 278 home runs as a shortstop, and the record set 7/15/93. And on here, it says all-time shortstop home run kings. Now let me just tell you how difficult it is. When you play shortstop, it requires a lot of energy, a lot of intelligence, and I always felt that shortstops were the smartest people who played a game of baseball.
But they weren't supposed to be the biggest.
I'm 6'4" and I'm 225 pounds, and most of the time, just by that stigma of shortstops being small, when somebody meets me, they always say, "God, you're a lot bigger than I thought you were."
Holy cow, what a play! I mean, for a big man, that was great.
And yet Cal was such an outstanding shortstop because of his ability to play hitters, and he had great hands. I mean, when you hit the ball at Cal, it was an out.
Fastball ripped. Oh, look at Ripken. Beautiful play by Junior.
You get a shortstop that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. What an asset it is.
Way out there, beyond the bullpen of the Orioles and into the night.
Cal Ripken was a big idol of mine growing up because he was a big shortstop. I think he paved the way for the taller shortstops of today.
Ironically, when Cal Ripken Jr. began his major league career in 1981, he did so as a third baseman.
As I went through the minor leagues, I was developing as a shortstop, and there was an injury to a third baseman, which moved me to third. At the same time, I was growing, and they thought that my size was going to work against me as a shortstop. And I went over to third base in an injury and actually did very well at that point.
I'm coming into spring training not thinking so much of pressure. I'm coming in with the new idea that I've got the job at third base, and I'm coming in to get ready for the season.
When Cal made it clear he was a big league hitter, a change was called for.
Once I started to establish myself as a third baseman, Earl took a chance and decided he was going to move me to shortstop.
The organization really wasn't, there were more that thought that Cal was too big or maybe a little too slow to play shortstop, but his range was good.
And a shot to Cal Ripken, fires across, he got it!
He was a kid, he was a big kid, but a big, strong kid. Physically, he was just a stud, and mentally a stud, too.
I think every year they said I was going to move back to third base with some other shortstop when I had 15 years at shortstop, a position that I truly loved, and I really learned to understand the real advanced intricacies of the position, which really makes you thrive.
Quite clearly, Cal shattered the myth that a shortstop couldn't be big, for his defense was getting rave reviews.
He's the kind of guy that seems to play shortstop and never breaks sweat. You look at him, you say, I didn't know he was playing there. How did he catch that ball? But he always seems to be in the right place at the right time.
Up the middle, Cal Ripken stabs it, fires and gets her! I don't know how he got to this ball, but he did.
What I looked at is saying, okay, I have anticipation, I have some initial quickness, and which can really apply to your range. And I did a real study of defensive positioning and saying, okay, I got this much ground to cover. Let me figure out how I can limit that ground. Okay, let me cut it in half by my knowledge and my anticipation, what the pitcher's going to throw, what the tendencies of the hitters are. You factor all those things in, and all of a sudden now the probability where they're going to hit the ball is on this part of the field.
Cal was just a great shortstop. There wasn't anything about the game that he didn't study to the nth degree. Nothing Cal did was just happenstance. So don't try to change him because it's locked in, you know.
With all these fundamental skills, Cal's name began to appear in the lineup every day.
His philosophy was, I come here to play baseball. I'm in the lineup. I'm going to play baseball. I'm play 9 innings. I'm going to go home, rest, and I'm going to do it again.
He's hard as nails. His father was hard as nails.
His mom was baseball. His dad was baseball. He's taught baseball his whole life.
I feel good about how I've approached the game. It's something that was taught to me by my dad. I honor him and I honor baseball by approaching it that way.
Before long, Lou Gehrig's record of 2,130 consecutive games appeared within Cal's reach.
He's a throwback, you know, he's really what baseball's about.
He's not fast, he doesn't have much hair, and he just goes in there every day like 99% of all Americans and just does his job as well as he can. That happens to be better than most.
The shortstop, now playing in 2,000 consecutive games in a row, Cal Ripken.
The fact that Cal was closing in on the Iron Man record was a source of amazement.
When you play the middle of the diamond and play that many games in a row without getting injured, I don't care if you're big, small, medium built, that's unheard of.
Their paths finally crossed. And for one magical night, the man many said was too big to play shortstop became the biggest name in baseball.
And let it be said that number 8, Cal Ripken Jr., has reached the unreachable star.
There's a lot of factors that figure in to playing every single day for 17 years. But I can surely tell you that if I can do it, somebody else can.
Rip to left! Oh my goodness! He's done it again!
Rookie of the Year, 2-time MVP, an aura of invincibility, and a forerunner of what was to come.
Cal was so unique in his era because he was the only guy that can really hit the ball out of the park with a lot of consistency. And that's something that I dreamt about. I wanted to be just like Cal.
Wow, I mean, he's unbelievable.
Alex Rodriguez, prototype for the future.
Typical power hitters don't really run that much or aren't that fast. You got these big, strong guys, and he's one of those guys that can run also. He's one of the fastest players in the league.
A-Rod is the complete package.
He's got all the tools that that really aren't common in one player. He can run, he can hit for power, he can play great defense.
There's a whole great stop by A-Rod, but I don't think he's going to get him. He does get him. My, oh my, what a play by Alex Rodriguez.
In 1998, A-Rod became
to a shortstop doing it. The combination of speed and power was really coming, since I've been in baseball. I can see a lot of guys that have that capability right now.
There goes Alex. The pitch is down low. No through. He has 40 stolen bases.
And that is hit well into right center field. See you later. There it is. Alex Rodriguez is now a 40-40 player.
That's an unbelievable accomplishment. I mean, he's an unbelievable player. He's exciting.
He's the third player in history to do it. I told him he should try for 50-50.
A-Rod made his major league debut in 1994 at the very tender age of 19, with just a few years of shortstop under his belt.
I was just thrown out there. When I was about 7 or 8, I used to play second because I couldn't reach across the diamond. But as I got older, at 10, 11, 12, I started playing shortstop, and it was a very natural position for me. I loved it, and I enjoyed it a lot, and I felt that I wanted to be a shortstop forever.
Others saw his promise early on.
I told him, as a matter of fact, Alex, you will probably, with your ability, you're probably going to become the best shortstop in history.
His league-leading .358 average in '96 was the highest for a right-handed hitter since Joe DiMaggio.
This kid is absolutely unbelievable.
Anytime someone can come in and have a breakthrough year the way I had and break 5 or 6 major league records, I think it was a surprise to everyone, and it was quite a pleasant surprise for me.
Hot shot, backhanded deep and short A-Rod. Long throw. Oh, they get Ripken. Holy smoke, what a play.
His game keeps getting better and better.
Alex is taking over this game.
Everywhere on the field, he's a weapon.
Way back to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. A bomb off the bat of Alex Rodriguez.
But the A-Rod phenomenon does go beyond the field.
I have a feature in acting. I'm going to display my acting abilities right now.
You rolling sound?
Yes, speak.
Roll camera.
I'm terrible.
Okay, so he's not the best dancer, but he's great with the fans, he's a nice guy, and he takes his role as one of the game's best players very seriously.
Very well prepared before games. He's always looking at tape. Most of that tape is of him. It's kind of like his highlight reel. We tease him about it.
It's a ground ball to the left side. Rodriguez dives in the hole from his knees, throws out Jermaine Dye. Wow, what a play.
Tries to improve himself day in and day out. So, I mean, it's fun watching him grow up.
As a 23-year-old, I think my natural ability is way superior than my knowledge. You reach your peak probably when you're 33, 34, and 35. So I can't wait till I hit my prime.
This is legendary Doubleday Field in Cooperstown, just a few steps from the Hall of Fame, where, who knows, in 20 years, Alex Rodriguez might be hailed as the shortstop of the 21st century. This is a replica of the glove worn by the great Honus Wagner, a man many consider the best shortstop of the 20th century. Man, is this thing small.
I would say Wagner is the greatest shortstop of all time. He was recognized as a magnificent fielder, base runner, and batter during his day. And to this day, is still widely regarded as the best shortstop in the game, and clearly one of the finest players to have ever played the game.
John Peter Honus Wagner hit .344 as a rookie in 1897 and played 21 big league seasons, all but 3 with the Pirates.
He played almost every day, but he bounced around from position to position, and that was because he was so versatile. He didn't gain a lot of recognition as the great player that he was until he had a steady position, and that would end up being shortstop.
Despite the primitive tools of his era, Honus managed to hone his defensive skills.
He could cover a lot of ground in the hole and up the middle, and his arm strength would allow him to throw the runner out.
He could time a runner running to first base so that he beats him by that much. He's just that much from being safe. And if he had a lot of time, he'd lob the ball over. And he would still beat that man by that one step.
But for all his fielding prowess, Honus Wagner's legacy was established at the plate.
He had a wide stance. He was a bad ball hitter. He took a big swing. He was always trying to clout the ball, but he had a lot of success.
So much success, he became the first man ever to have a bat inscribed with his signature. That's what happens when you hit 300 15 straight years, average .327 over 2 decades, and win 8 batting titles. The ultimate prize of Wagner's era.
At that time, you have to realize there was no home run championship. There was no most valuable player award given away. A lot of prestige was tied to the batting title.
Perhaps the Flying Dutchman's grandest moment came in the 1909 World Series when he faced off against Ty Cobb, the American League batting champion, and led the Pirates to the title.
Wagner outplayed Cobb in almost every respect. Wagner was a hero. He was one of the reasons that the Pirates won the World Series.
As a testament to his career, Honus Wagner was a member of the first class ever inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Legends like Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, Christy Mathewson, Walter Johnson, and the great Hannes Wagner.
He was overjoyed at being elected in 1936 to the Hall of Fame, one of the 5 original Hall of Famers, recognized as one of the greatest players to ever play the game at that time. He was overjoyed.
Player and coach in Pittsburgh for 56 years, Wagner still stands tall above the rest. Hannes Wagner won 8 batting titles himself. Since then, shortstops have won just 6 batting titles. The first was Pittsburgh's Archie Vaughan, who had perhaps the greatest hitting season by a shortstop ever in 1935. Archie led the league with a .385 batting average, a .607 slugging average, and 97 walks. To make him a complete player, the Pirates brought Hannes back to help teach Archie defense. In contrast, Phil Rizzuto was a defensive specialist who played 13 years with the Yankees, even though manager Casey Stengel almost cut him short.
Stengel telling me to go get a shoe shine box, the only way I'd make a living in baseball. I was 4'11", I think, at the time, and weighed about 120 pounds. If I was a normal human being, I would have quit. But having the intestinal fortitude that I'm noted for, I carried on.
The Scooter played in 9 World Series with the Yankees, and although fielding was his primary focus, he had one fantastic year at bat when he hit .324.
This man was a great, brilliant player. MVP in 1950. Go look at the record. Look what the Yankees did while he was there. They won 10 pennants, and it took a great shortstop to do that.
Rizzuto's crosstown contemporary was Brooklyn's Pee Wee Reese, an all-star shortstop for 8 straight years.
Spark plug of the Dodgers. The captain, the little Colonel Pee Wee Reese. There's a smash. Reese grabs it. Get it. Great backhand. How about that play? The great Pee Wee. He and Rizzuto have shown you some tremendous shortstopping in this series.
Pee Wee and Phil went to the Hall of Fame, as did a great shortstop from the 60s, Louis Aparicio.
Hey, Louis, you're bigger than I thought, and you're smaller than I thought.
Batting 8th and playing shortstop, Louis Aparicio.
Aparicio played 18 years with 3 teams and won 9 Gold Gloves along the way. A 10-time All-Star, his specialty was, of course, defense. He twice faced Maury Wills in the World Series, a shortstop best known for his speed. Maury led the league in stolen bases 6 times and set a then Major League record in 1962 with 104. Fact is, Aparicio had 506 career stolen bases himself, just 80 fewer than Maury Wills. But to those who played against him, he is best remembered for his immaculate defense.
Little Louis Aparicio, God, was he great. He could throw, he had a hell of an arm. And he could cover ground. Oh, he was quick as a cat.
You would compare Louis today to the Derek Jeters because you didn't win without a shortstop like Louis Aparicio.
Fellow Venezuelan Dave Concepcion was another team catalyst for Cincinnati's Big Red Machine in the 70s.
Dave Concepcion didn't make mistakes, made every play, knew that strong up the middle was a very important part of any great ball club. We were unmerciful on the poor kid when he first came up as a rookie, but he hung in there, stayed with it.
He reminds me of a young fawn. I said, his legs aren't real strong yet, but I said, watch him. I said, he's like a ballet dancer. He's one of those people that it's so easy for him doing everything.
Up the middle. Concepcion, a fine play to throw in time. What a play.
Perhaps the best fielding shortstop in the 70s was the Phillies' Larry Bowa. His .987 fielding average for a season and .980 for a career are still National League records. With Bowa, the Phils won 4 division titles. Bowa had almost 2,200 hits, and like most shortstops, he was a singles hitter. But the balance of power was about to change.
I think that it's the logical progression that we have seen in our sport with the smaller guys not quite as small as they used to be. And so I think it's logical that the shortstops would start to hit with a little bit more power.
There goes a long shot and forget it. 3-run homer, Alan Trammell.
I do remember when I signed, the scout came to me and he said, boy, if you play good defense and hit 240, you're going to be in the big leagues a long time. But we took it to another level.
I always had more confidence in the offense. That's really not quite the way it should be at that position.
That's true. But Robin Yount and Alan Trammell were the vanguard of a shortstop revolution.
And my mindset was defense first, and as I matured physically and mentally, I became more of an offensive threat.
Trammell's maturation began in 1980, his first of 7 300 seasons with Detroit. He hit .450 with 2 home runs in the 1984 World Series. While batting cleanup in 1987, he posted career highs, hitting .343 with 28 home runs and 105 RBIs. Still, it was Trammell's defense that his colleagues most admired.
I seem to spend a lot of time in the early going watching Alan Trammell make those plays.
Nice play by Trammell, spins and throws him out.
And a lot of how I learned how to make plays at shortstop came from watching him.
He was the last guy on the diamond that you wanted the ball to go to because it was going to be an out. He was that good. He had the most accurate throwing arm that I can remember of any shortstop I saw.
And like Trammell, the 6-foot Yount brought a different style to shortstop.
There were some things that he could do that I couldn't do, but I watched him very carefully, and he was very helpful in my development.
You need to cover more ground as far as the infield goes than most of the other positions. Then you need a strong enough throwing arm to throw the ball across the diamond with something on it.
But what made Robin special was his ability to hit.
See the ball hit the ball was pretty close to my approach.
Robin was one of those shortstops that was one of those transitional shortstops in the sense that we saw him become one of the offensive players of the day.
1982, for instance, Robin hit .331 with 29 home runs, 114 RBIs, and a league-leading .578 slugging average, earning him the first of 2 Most Valuable Player awards. It was a season that fulfilled his every dream.
I always wanted to be the guy that would come through when you needed it.
Robin did just that in the final game of the '82 season. Needing to beat future Hall of Famer Jim Palmer and Baltimore, future Hall of Famer Robin Yount responded with 2 home runs.
Well hit, deep left field. It's gone. One to right field, the opposite field. This one deep up the left center alley. Extraordinary power for a shortstop.
Yount led the Brewers to their first ever World Series, where he became the first player to have 2 4-hit games in a series. His career as a shortstop ended 3 years later, but Robin continued to produce. He was the 17th player to get 3,000 hits, and number 19 would become the 19th shortstop in the Hall of Fame.
In my mind, it's still more of a fairy tale than the real thing. Maybe someday I'll realize that it's for real, but it hasn't happened yet.
Smith corks one into right, down the line. Go! Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game by the score of 3-2, and a home run.
Yeah, I've hit a few home runs in my time, but not quite enough to get me inside the Hall of Fame with sluggers like this guy. But you know, I could also play a little defense.
Ozzie Smith, my favorite guy.
You know, I was jealous a lot of times from how he could play that position.
If there's ever a better one than Ozzie, I haven't seen him.
He's not the wizard for nothing.
Swing, a one-hop shot. Diving play by Ozzie. Long throw, you wouldn't believe it.
Base hit up the middle. No, Ozzie Smith grabs it.
strike one on the batter. He gets a hit. Don't tell me. Wasn't that something?
We tend to think of players who can either dominate a game or change the complexion of the game from an offensive standpoint. Ozzie was one of those rare individuals that, from a defensive standpoint, could change the complexion of the game.
Dykstra swings and a great stop by Ozzie Smith.
That's one of the things that I prided myself on, being able to have an impact or change momentum from a defensive standpoint. I just happened to be the person that revolutionized that part of it, making sure that if, in fact, we weren't scoring any runs, then it was my job to make sure that they didn't score any runs.
Ozzie Smith, as he can do like nobody else, saves a run.
Playing against him, even when he was in San Diego, in those days, always in the back of your mind, you're thinking to yourself, where can I hit the ball that's not in the direction of that shortstop? That guy just, he kills you out there.
I've had him go in the hole and fall on one knee and backhand and whip it over to first, and always gets you by half a step.
Ozzie took about 50 base hits from me in my career.
A bullet, short-handed by Ozzie. A dazzling play, one away.
It was a way of intimidating people psychologically, taking them out of their game, making a guy say, well, I'm not going to hit the ball to shortstop tonight. Once a guy said that, then I knew that I was in his head.
Playing shortstop, making his 8th consecutive All-Star start from the St. Louis Cardinals, Ozzie Smith.
It became my trademark. Little old ladies come up to me now and go, I remember you. You're the guy that does the flip. You know, which is nice.
I think the one thing that made him stand out and better probably than anybody else is he was very acrobatic.
Ozzie Smith, a great diving catch.
One of the things that I was blessed with was the ability to go straight up and still throw off balance. I probably turned to double play as good as anybody, as consistently as anybody, and especially when you had guys standing right on top of you.
There goes Harris on a ground ball. Alisea at the second for one. The double play. What a double play by Ozzie Smith. Oh, mercy.
Diving for a ball and catching, and then getting up and still making a play and throwing somebody out was what separated Ozzie from all the rest.
Hit hard to short. Ozzie, the stop.
It's unbelievable. You watch the highlight plays of him diving to his left, the ball taking a bad hop. He's catching it with his bare hand, throwing the first, and he really redefined the position. I don't know if there'll ever be another Ozzie Smith.
It takes a lot of natural ability to be the greatest defensive shortstop of all time. But Ozzie also spent endless hours perfecting his craft. His 13 straight gold gloves are the most for any shortstop in Major League history. And those who felt Ozzie was too small to be an effective hitter were in for quite a surprise, for his superior hand-eye coordination soon won out at the plate.
I wasn't a home run hitter, and I realized that early on I wasn't going to be a home run hitter. But because I didn't drive the ball or hit right, people say, you can't hit. But I took that and all of the negatives that I've always had in my life, I've taken those and turned them into positive. Anytime somebody say I couldn't do something, I say, well, yes, I can. I know I can.
Ozzie Smith with hit number 2,000, and he stands at third with a triple. History right here for Ozzie Smith.
There it was, 2,000 hits. I was very proud of that, you know, that I was able to accomplish that, and it was an emotional night, yeah.
The love and respect for Ozzie by peers and fans alike was never more evident than at his 14th All-Star game. In just a few years, he will ride the first ballot into the Hall of Fame.
I'm honored with where I stand as far as shortstop is concerned, you know, where I stand in the history books of baseball annals. I think I accomplished a lot for what I was given. There was a question that I always asked myself when I walked away from the field every day. Did you do the very best you could? And that answer for 19 years was yes. After that, there's nothing else.
If I can give to this game a small portion of what this man has done, then I will feel truly blessed. You're my idol. We love you, man, and we'll miss you.
Barry Larkin did succeed Ozzie Smith as the National League's premier shortstop. the heart and soul of the Cincinnati Reds, their captain, Barry became known as the best all-around shortstop of his era.
He's a real gifted athlete. He's so nimble and he moves so good.
Larkin, can he get it? Can he throw it? He does. Larkin steps on the bag, gets one. How about this? Talk about a dance.
I kind of play with reckless abandon. I try to get balls that I probably shouldn't.
Shot up the middle, flagged by Larkin. Got him.
I twist and torque my body in different positions and throw off balance.
Larkin wide of second.
The mechanics kind of like fly out the window.
There's that acrobatic athleticism by Barry Larkin.
I play kind of a high-speed, kind of crash and burn type of a game.
He's a winner. He knows how to win. He knows what it takes to win. He turned out to be a real good offensive player. I thought he was going to basically be a defensive player, but he turned out to be a real good offensive player.
Good enough to hit 300 8 times in his career. A 9-time All-Star, he was the 1995 National League MVP.
He hits with power, he hits with average. He's the first shortstop to get 30-30.
Drive to left field. That's the home run he was looking for. He's the first 30-30 shortstop in the history of Major League Baseball.
Robin Yount and Cal Ripken themselves kind of introduced what I feel my game is kind of comparative to.
On offense and defense, no one compared to Barry in the 90s. Today, there are 2 men, one in the National League, one in the American, who played defense with amazing artistry. Their canvas, the infield. Their brush, the glove. Their color, gold.
Ordonez out to make the play. Oh, my goodness. Oh, what a play by Omar Vizquel.
Ray is a little more acrobatic. Omar is more of a slower dance, but not slow in a way that he doesn't get to the ball, but slow in a rhythmic way.
I've never seen anybody with the glove as gifted as Omar.
To delivery. Swung on line to short. Leaping and grabbing it is Vizquel.
I don't think I'd ever try what he does. I mean, Omar does some stuff that is great.
Robbed again by Vizquel.
He's one of these guys that when you watch him, you tell the kids at home, don't do it like this.
Swung on, chopped over the mound near second. Vizquel glove. Steps on second. Throws to first. Double play. And excuse me, he did not glove that ball.
You go, wow. Why he wear a glove?
It's well documented how he just catches the ball barehanded, and you know, I asked him why he does that.
As soon as the ball is hit, and I know that I'm gonna have a small chance to throw that guy out at first base, I barehand the ball.
An absolutely incredible play by Vizquel.
I was out there trying to do a Vizquel there. I almost broke my hand trying to catch a ball.
A bouncing ball wide of third in the hole. Barehand grab by Vizquel. The throw in time.
He's so smooth out there. And you know, he can go out there and he can barehand the ball the way he does, you know, and just do it consistently and not even have to worry about it, not even flinch.
Is anybody more casual, more effortless than Omar Vizquel?
That's probably the best compliment you can give somebody, is they make it look like it's effortless.
Sliding, gloving, got him, inning over.
He does amazing things. He makes easy plays look easy and the hard plays look even easier.
Oh my, Omar, one more time.
In my opinion, he's the best defensive shortstop in the game by far.
Bouncing ball toward the hole. Vizquel stops it. Throws from the outfield grass. What a play!
When I'm done playing the game, and when the rest of these guys are done playing the game, and they look back and you talk about Omar Vizquel, you're gonna say that he was one of the best, if not top 2 or 3, you know, to ever play the game at shortstop.
There's no doubt in my mind he's probably the best defensive shortstop in the game right now, and he kind of just took the baton from Mr. Smith. And he's going to carry it for a long time.
It's a torch few can carry, to be compared to Ozzie Smith. But in the National League, New York Mets shortstop Ray Ordonez is making plays in the infield that are so magical. He, too, commands an audience with the Wizard.
Ray is more of a slapstick, unbelievable, just kind of a little herky-jerky, not quite as smooth, but just as amazing.
Highlight reel.
I think he's a natural shortstop. I
I mean, you know, like guys burn to play that position.
He has the ability to throw strikes with his body in any position.
He plays the position with such artistry that the instincts that come out, the things that he does on the field, can't be practiced.
He really makes a lot of plays that most people wouldn't even try to make.
He makes plays sliding and diving and bouncing like no one else. You have to see it to believe it.
Well, he does something different every night, doesn't he? Every night he gets a standing ovation.
You go, where did he even imagine that?
Never once did he concede the fact when he went down and bobbled the ball that he would not be able to get Alomar.
He's made so many great plays that, you know, you almost come to expect it.
Some of his plays are already becoming legendary.
He made a somersault play behind the pitcher's mound where he went to the left side of second base.
Slid in front of Alfonso on the second base side of the bag.
He dove for the ball. He was facing the other direction. It didn't look like he had any chance to make a throw, and it's almost like he threw it to me without looking.
What a play by Ray Ordonez. What's next?
Are you kidding me?
Just the way he was rolling and still getting the ball off, you know, that's I don't see too many people do that.
But there's another New York shortstop who is also a showstopper, the Yankees' Derek Jeter. And it didn't take long for him to become the toast of the town.
Or he's a guy that, you know, is a real big name around here, but he seems to handle all the attention and all the things that go with it real well. So he's the perfect personality for this environment.
That's a nice gesture that Derek does even in Yankee Stadium. I mean, here he's in the middle of a ball game, but he loves to visit with young fans.
Yeah, it definitely is like traveling with a rock star. He definitely gets a lot of attention, has a lot of young female fans, you know, the teenagers that can scream the loudest, drive you crazy. But it's fun to be around him because he handles it so well. I think I thrive on competition. I mean, I love competition. I love playing baseball. I think it's the best game in the world. I don't like watching.
Derek's only in his mid-20s, yet he anchors one of the best teams in baseball history.
I think leaders, you know, come naturally. You know, if you try to be a leader or force yourself to try to do something that you really aren't, you know, usually it doesn't work out. But him, everything is coming easy to him.
It's a very mature deal. I mean, you talk to the guys, and he's a leader. He keeps everybody, you know, even keel, likes to have fun, you know, even though he's playing the game hard.
Line drive, Jeter's got it!
Derek Jeter plays very sound, fundamental baseball. He is as consistent and as solid as there is, and you don't win pennants unless you have a shortstop that's a solid player.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Derek's a winner. I mean, every year he keeps getting better and better. He has incredible speed. He improves tremendously, and he's just a great compliment to the best team of all time, the New York Yankees.
Serve off a high bouncer. Covered by Jeter. Great play. And in time to Tino Martinez.
He is almost completely in the air, and look how much he gets on that throw. Wow.
Derek Jeter, he got the natural height for a shortstop. He got long legs, long arms, and he moves quick.
He's still young, he's still getting stronger, he's still getting bigger, and he's going to continue to get better. You know, he's a guy that he can make those plays deep at shortstop because he has the arm strength.
Hit toward the hole. Jeter backhands from the outfield grass.
When you play shortstop, defense comes first. I think you win a lot of games with defense. You got to be quick on your feet. You got to move, otherwise you'll get beat up.
And Ramirez hits one hard. Look at the play by Jeter. A flip to Duncan for one. Back. Holy cow. Level play. And a beauty.
Now batting. Number 2, Derek Jeter.
After just 3 full seasons, Jeter boasts a Rookie of the Year award, 2 World Series rings, and a batting average over 300. Who knows what his future holds?
This guy hits in the middle of the lineup. He can steal bags. I think eventually he's going to be like a type of hitter that can win a batting crown.
Base hit up the middle. Holy cow, he did it.
run is going to score. 2-run score. Derek Jeter comes through in the clutch. He's done it so many times.
You know, he's prime time. He gets it done in the clutch, and he can hit, he can run.
People don't look at him as being a big, strong guy, but, you know, with this being 6'3", you know, almost you call him, like, I guess, wiry strength. But, you know, a lot of that is bat speed.
Hard hit ball, deep to left field, headed toward Monument Park. Derek Jeter gives the Yankees a 2-0 lead. This guy can do everything.
In the long, impressive lineage of shortstops, Derek Jeter is one of an elite group of 3 whose future burns the brightest as this golden age of shortstops embraces the year 2000 and beyond.
When you think of Jeter and A-Rod and Nomar, how young they are and how good they are at every phase of the game, you understand why folks think they could end up right here in the Hall of Fame's Gallery of Heroes, joining that elite group of 19 shortstops who already reside here. You know, my buddy Dave Concepcion probably said it best. He said, you can't learn to play shortstop. It's something you're born with.
In the century of shortstops now past, there's always been a special bond. A brotherhood passed on from one generation to the next, each one humbled by those who came before.
I'll tell you what, this morning I was playing catch with Ozzie Smith at 8:30, and he's throwing the ball. My knees are buckling and shaking, and it's like, I looked up at this guy and I said, are you really giving me this opportunity to play catch with Ozzie Smith?
Among their peers, a friendly sense of competition.
Well, that's the thing I get from Alex all the time. He never calls me back unless he does something good.
He's a great person. I mean, he's like my brother. I'm very happy to see him do well, except when he's playing against us.
Celebrating the past, learning for the future.
I watch to see what the other shortstops are doing, and it's impressive.
If you want to learn how to play baseball, these visual images of these guys and things that they're experimenting and they're doing right there in front of you gives you the basis in which to go out on the playground and actually try some of those things yourself. Seeing some of these shortstops make these kind of plays, it adds to the creativity of the position.
Most shortstops I've seen, if you did their IQ, it would be very high. They're extremely bright people.
I mean, if I played you right now, I know exactly how to play you, because I've been scouting you for the last 10 years.
Shortstop is the position where you should be doing something on every play. If you're not doing your job. Because in my opinion, I think it's the most important position on the field.
And away! Oh, you dear mortal! How dare you enter the magic grounds of Oz!
All right, that's better. I'm Ozzie Smith, shortstop for the St. Louis Cardinals, otherwise known as the Wizard of Oz. This is something I stole from a guy by the name of Julio Gonzalez. I was watching infield one day as I love taking infield myself. And it appeared to me when he was taking throws at second base that he wasn't even going into his glove. The ball was just hitting his glove and just ricocheting off. So I sat there and I watched and I watched, and after he got done, I finally went over and asked him how in the world was he doing that. And he showed me that actually the ball hits the heel of the glove, just pops to your hand over here.